While the United States presidential elections are now almost an Earth-wide watershed event that stops the whole Earth, the unknown truth is that when the United States voter casts his vote or her vote, they are not the ones electing the president. Thus, there is no democracy in that system or in this system. The Electoral College is the one that has the power to elect and anoint a president in December, not the November vote. Since this is a momentous event, what would you do? Or what are your thoughts, for instance, about the upcoming United States elections 2020? Would you vote for Trump? Who would you want to win? Is United States election a standard of democracy? Who owns America? The native indigenous, who by the way is the Negroid, are black, or the migrant, or someone else? This is Preacher Rabbi Elem Tumizulu discussing the United States elections 2020 presidential candidates. May the real winners stand up. The envy of millions. Despite the real facts that the United States population is not the highest, its democracy, way of life, fiat money, and the leaders are envied by others. How is this so? What is a democracy? It's people's power. That should be democracy. It comes from the Greek word demos, the people, krasia, power, and then it evolved into the Latin, then the French, democratie, and then democracy is the word that we have. The United States presidential candidates are men and women who are always depicted as global influencers, already propelled as stars and with celebrity status. Despite the fact that the United States population is not the largest on the earth, the winner is always looked upon as the most powerful person on earth for a maximum period of 8 years. Is this democracy? Who is the real power behind all this? To understand the role of the United States election is key to waking up to the scam of voting and democracy. The true fact is that humanity has not yet rediscovered the best method to govern the earth, others, nature, and reality, since the destruction of the original system that was established by our ancestors. What is that system? It is not this system, because this system has requirements that you should be 35 years or over. What about if you are 30 years and you are brilliant and you are a natural leader? And also this system has a general election and conventions and primaries where people seem to exercise power, but eventually the candidate who gets more than half of the 538 electoral votes wins. So all these activities and all these exercises do not count from the system that we are looking at. Our ancestral system, every pharaoh's mandate was to establish Mahati on the earth. Every leader everywhere in Africa was to establish harmony with nature. Immediately, paradise would arise. And paradise was established many times by our ancestors. They call it utopia, but it's actually utopia or Ethiopia. Mahati in human life creates a continuity between spirituality, religion, political action, morality, and divinity. Let us look at the 2020 presidential candidates with Mahati as our standard, not democracy, and make a telling conclusion. All the candidates, 2020 presidential candidates in America, who can establish Mahati. What is Mahati? Anyway, to achieve human perfectibility as a leader or individual, our ancestors taught the divine cardinals, the 7 divine cardinals or principles or virtues. These are the Mahati laws. 1, truth. 2, justice. 3, balance. 4, order. 5, compassion. 6, harmony. And 7, reciprocity. Consider the incumbent today. Has he ever lied? Yes, he told some Democrats, congresswomen, to go back to their corrupt and broken crime-infested countries, forgetting that Somalia was destroyed by the help of the American intelligence. When he berates others as foreigners, does he deliberately forget his own history? For we know that although he is a leading candidate and a sitting incumbent, Trump's family comes from a relatively recent stock of American immigrants with a little more than 130 years in the United States. What about our ancestors who have been there for thousands and thousands of years, and our ancestors who were exported there from Africa for about 500 years ago, and him with 130 years? The truth is, Trump is actually not his real name. Donald Trump's grandfather was a German immigrant named Frederick Drumpf, who immigrated to the United States in 1885 and became a naturalized citizen in 1892. So when Trump says my grandparents didn't come to America all the way from Germany just to see it taken over by immigrants, does he forget that his wife is also an immigrant? And that he too is also an immigrant from Karlstadt, Palatina in Germany. This is on his mother's side, they are from Scotland. Does he forget that? Of course, we know that Trump has uttered false claims. Thousands of them. There, as the statistics, go to this website and they see from the Toronto Star, see where Trump makes his false claims and how many he has made since January 2017 to July 1, 2018. What about the Democrats? With a talented list of Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders, and Joe Biden, you would think we can get somebody who can establish Mahati or re-establish Mahati. Let us look and test them a little bit quickly on one principle, that is on reparations. Kamala Harris expressed some support for reparations early in February, but then gave conflicting accounts of her exact stance on passing a race-specific reparations policies. Senator Warren, who has said that the Native Americans should also be part of the equation on reparations, also changed and did not come out with the specifications of her policy. But of course, when bringing in the Native Americans, her definition definitely does not include the indigenous, copper-colored, black, original American natives. Senator Bernie Sanders, who was criticized in 2016 for not having anything concerning reparations, even opposing it, said that there is a better way to do so than writing a check. Correct. Very perfect. But he said he had problems with what was meant by reparations. Well, you see that? How could such a leader have problems with reparations? Doesn't he know what is reparations? Former President Joe Biden, we don't consider him. He failed during his tenure to do anything for black people. So all these candidates dance very different tunes to fit a narrative. Zero Mahati here. Go to this website and see what they do and what they say and what they are going to do with their policies and the reparations. Mahati is all about truth, justice, balance, order, compassion, harmony, and reciprocity. The indigenous owners of the United States or anywhere on earth have never received anything, only hell, destruction, and war. No candidate talks about that. What led to the outbreak of the bloodiest conflict in the history of America is always not a topical issue, yet it is critical because the people that build the United States of America are the Africans, the black people. That is not spoken about. Therefore, there is no truth. There is a lot of hypocrisy. There is no justice. There is no balance. There is no order or compassion or harmony. Actually, people now hate black people, hate Africans on earth. So, a common explanation about the Civil War was that it was fought over the issue of slavery. In fact, it was the issue of the money system and how slavery and the political control of that system. The southern states wanted to keep slaves and take them anywhere where they want, while the northern system wanted to change it because they had already formulated a financial system, which you can see. It is indeed a money game, sell your soul game. They took all systems from our ancestors. The pyramid there, the totems there, even the issue of God, even everything, there is committee. So they say, in God we trust. We now know which God. They created a God. And then they turned everything 180 degrees. There is no United States leader or presidential candidate in 2020 who can campaign in abolishing that they will abolish this system. It is impossible. Therefore, there is no justice, there is no mahati, because this fiat system deprives countries with resources from trading fairly and using their competitive advantages. It is indeed a money game. America's Federal Election Commission will recognize you as a candidate if you have raised or spent United States $5,000 and filled some forms. But the game has just begun. The money game has just begun. To give you a rough idea, in 2016, Hillary Clinton raised about $600 million. Only $200 million of that came outside of America. And Donald Trump raised half that, about $351 million. And $100 million came from outside. According to the latest statistics today and disclosures, Mr. Trump has already raised about $135 million. And his closest rival, Bernie Sanders, has raised about $46 million. So it's a money game. Millions. So if you have got gifts, if you are talented, if you are a brilliant person, you have to follow and fall into the money trap, the fiat money system, to be a candidate. Since this is a momentous event, what would you do? What are your thoughts about the upcoming United States elections 2020 and the candidates? Who would you want to win? Would you vote for Trump? Would you even vote? Is the United States elections a standard of democracy? Who owns America? Let's answer the last question first. A hidden elitistic family cabal playing with our lives owns America. They own the money system. They own the military. They own the gold standard. They own the banking system. They own the pharmaceuticals. They own all the electronics. They own anything you can touch. The only thing they are yet to own is air you breathe in and sunshine. So, there is no mahati coming from these people. Forget about utopia coming on earth from these people. I would not vote. It's a waste of my time. But what will I do, and what can you do? If you are a Muntu, a Bantu, a black person, a carbon being, a melanated being, whether you are in the States or anywhere on the earth, the system on earth today is against you totally, because you are a Bantu. We are fighting against the Shinwa. Join an Afro-conscious secret society fighting to turn the tables. Support it with all your spirit and physical effort. You can apparently connect with us at join@marifado.com, and you may decide to become a co-worker or a leader to die fighting. Join Marifado Development Organization. The United States elections 2020 presidential candidates are not the real winners. They cannot establish mahati. It is you and me. If we stand up and be us, who will eventually emerge as winners against Isfat, which is what is on earth today, because we will be using Mechaba, connecting the spirit and the soul. This is Spiritual Rabbi Elem Tumizulu of Committee Hebrew Ethics. This is our website, which you can go visit and read, and you can join us and send us an email on join@marifado.com. Thank you, Siabonga, Twalumba, Tatenta. Do not vote. Goodbye.